So this is number 2 of my series for new cruisers. So if you're a new cruiser and you kind of want to look like you're a pro, this mini series is for you. I'm Charlene of IslandJumper.travel, and in this episode I want to talk about all of the things you're getting now that you've booked a cruise. Here's other things you're getting from your cruise line and kind of how to navigate you through all this bombardment of email that you're getting from the cruise line. So before we talk about what you're getting from the cruise line, I want to remind you to get your passport. It can be very complicated to not have a passport, so do everything you can to get started well in advance to get a passport. It just makes life much easier, and otherwise you're going to need who knows what, like birth certificates, picture IDs, marriage license, all kinds of stuff, and everything depends on the cruise line. So kind of don't put yourself up to like that nonsense. Just get a passport. Get ahead, get a passport, and then you will have what you need to get on the ship and not have any weirdness or any problems with your cruise. So your passport can't expire within 6 months of your sail date. I don't know why that is. It's just a thing. So make sure that your paperwork is in order for that. So you'll need to have your cruise paid off around 120 days before your sail date. Sometimes it's a little bit less. I don't think it tends to be any more. But you'll start getting a bunch of emails from your cruise line that you have booked with on various different offers. So there's like specialty dining, there's beverage packages. They want you to go look at your excursions. So let me kind of go through all of those. So the various cruise lines, in order to make a lot more economical, a lot of cruise lines let you basically pay the base fare and not anything else, right? Just basic, room and board and food kind of thing. Just buy one drink at a time, or you can get a drink package. And you want to be really mindful and thoughtful before you buy these packages. They seem really great and very enticing, but they can be a little bit difficult to navigate. There's a lot of different levels of drink packages, from like maybe just soda package, or maybe soda and coffee, like specialty coffees, because you can just get like regular coffee at the wherever. There's lots of different places just get coffee, and you can get water and tea. Some basic juices, non-fresh juices, are typically available in the buffet area. So it's not like you're not going to have anything to eat or drink if you don't do these extra packages. There'll be a maximum number of drinks you can have. It tends to be like 15, which is kind of a lot in a whole day of drinks you can have per day. There'll be tricks like everybody of drinking age will have to get the package if one person gets the package. So like my husband, who's a much bigger person than me, can definitely drink more cocktails than I can as a much smaller woman. So a lot of times that doesn't work out to my benefit. I'll end up paying a lot more for a package than I would if I just bought a drink by drink. So think about what do you like to drink, and then kind of get an idea of how much it's going to cost. Beers can cost like $8, $10. Cocktails can cost as much as like $16, $18. How many of those you're going to have a day? If you're doing a lot of islands, like we took a cruise that was 7 nights but 5 islands. We were on the ship not that much, and then when we were on the ship, I was like almost too tired to drink because I was worn out from swimming all day long. So think about how much drinking you'll do. Sometimes the drink package works on the cruise line's private islands, and sometimes it doesn't. So that is another thing to take into consideration if you're considering the drink package. If you're a soda drinker, then you're probably going to want a soda package, because buying them one by one would just be probably ridiculous, because I'm guessing you probably could drink a lot of sodas in a day. Same thing with specialty coffees. If you're like a latte cappuccino kind of person, it may actually be cost beneficial for you to go ahead and get the package instead of buying a paying every morning to get those. So kind of think about that and kind of add that up roughly before you commit to an expensive drink package that you might not use fully. Same thing with dining packages. Again, the dining in the main dining room and the complimentary dining is perfectly fine, and you don't need to do the specialty dining unless you just want to. If you're like a food person, you want to try that, then great for you, do it. But a lot of times you can get a package. You can get like a 3 specialty dining treats, or you can get specialty dining every day. A lot of times they'll have on C days at the specialty dining, they'll have lunch available, and it's a really affordable way to try out that restaurant without paying the full dinner prices. So be really mindful that you can really pay a lot extra for dining, and you don't necessarily need to do that. So most cruise lines have spent a lot of time getting their cruise line apps up to snuff. So if you have a smartphone, you'll want to download the app probably maybe 60 days, 30 days before your sail date. Download the app and start filling out the paperwork, or you can also do it online. You'll need things like your passport number and your birthday and your emergency contact, and they're going to ask stuff like what time is your flight getting in, or what time you plan on getting in if you're driving, and then what time does your flight leave. This is going to be important later, so don't fib. Really be as legit as possible. So fill all that out. Fill it out in the app or online. I think maybe for a little while after we start back up to cruising, having hard copies is not a bad idea. But I think really we're going by the way of the phone apps, and it just making it easier for the cruise lines and for us, honestly, to manage all this stuff in all this stuff that we need to manage. Another thing too, if you're on one of the larger ships and you'll need to make reservations for not only dining reservations but entertainment reservations, and you can do this in your phone as well, in your phone app. And also you don't have to have Wi-Fi in order to communicate on the phone app. Some of the cruise lines have made the phone app so that you can talk to other people in your party. So you can keep track of your wife or your kids or whoever you need to keep track of that will let you in the phone app. Doing some editing, I didn't really appreciate my excursion section, so I'm going to redo it again. So excursions. In the before times, you could go on your own or you could go through the cruise line. I'm not sure what's going to happen when things first get started back up. Probably the same thing. So you, about 60 to 30 days out, you're going to want to start planning your excursions if you haven't done so already. So think about the islands, things you want to do, things you want to see, and then go looking for what's going to accommodate those needs. So you can go through the cruise line. They usually have a fairly good offering, and you can get those all reserved and paid for through them, or you can do stuff on your own. A lot of times where I start is TripAdvisor, like everybody else, right? And I'll start trying to figure out what I want to do and what I want to see, and then like the top rated companies to do it. Keep in mind that the time is yours, and pay attention to the time, both those things. So you want to be sure that you are not late. Do not be late for the ship. Make sure that you pay attention to the time, the ship time, and get back on time. So you don't want to be a pier runner, because that's not cool. And you want to get back to the ship on time, which is really kind of the only complication when you do stuff on your own. Is you are responsible to get back on the ship on time. The other thing that I forgot about was gratuities. So some cruise lines still have you pay gratuities separate from being included in the base fee, and it's something that a lot of the more premium lines have started just including in the base fee, which I really think is a smart idea, because it's part of the price of the cruise. So it's anywhere from like $12.50 to $20 per day per person that's in a cabin, based on cabin class and that sort of thing. So be prepared that that's going to be added to it'll actually be a daily charge, will be added to the end of your cruise, unless you pay those up front, and not all cruise lines will allow you to do that. So be sure to check on if gratuities are paid in ahead of time, so that you know if you need to budget that or not. Because I think that's a very, I think our first cruise we were pretty shocked when we got it, we understood, and we were certainly happy to pay it, but just the fact that we didn't know about it, and that's not okay. So we want you to know about the gratuities, and that's it.